I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all
That's a
agree on
given.
that. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the first lady.
As you may heard, I filed a few lawsuits, and I'm in the court now because they accuse me of doing stuff that I never did in my life, and they wrote lies, and I will not allow that. I will fight till the end because I don't want that they damage my reputation and my name.
The View had long stood as a hallmark of daytime television, a space where diverse personalities and bold discussions on hot-button issues sparked lively debates. Known for its unapologetic dive into topics ranging from pop culture to politics, the show became a platform where opposing opinions collided, fueling passionate conversations. Viewers across the country tuned in, eager to witness the electric energy that each episode brought, as if it mirrored the debates unfolding in their own homes. However, no one could have foreseen how quickly the show would descend into chaos, ignited by a single explosive lawsuit. Within a matter of days, what had once been a beloved staple of daytime television was engulfed in a whirlwind of controversies, each one more shocking than the last. Even with a seasoned production team and co-hosts in place, no one was able to put out the fire. When the dust settled, The View had transformed from a mere television show into a symbol of the volatility and fragility of public media. What made the situation even more alarming was that one of the show's most outspoken hosts, Sunny Hostin, found herself at the epicenter of the storm. It began subtly. Staff members started noticing a shift in the atmosphere, a change that could only be described as an underlying tension that had taken hold of the studio. The once lighthearted exchanges between the co-hosts were replaced by cautious, measured conversations behind closed doors. The usual banter had all but disappeared, and the team seemed hyper-aware that one wrong move could lead to an even bigger fallout. Rumors began circulating about an impending lawsuit, one that had the potential to alter everything. This was no ordinary legal dispute. The lawsuit in question came from a high-profile individual, someone known for fiercely protecting their public image, someone who wouldn't be easily bought off or silenced. What made the situation even more precarious was that this individual had powerful connections in both corporate and political spheres, further amplifying the stakes. The first indication of what was to come occurred during a live broadcast when Sunny, known for her candidness and unfiltered commentary, made an on-air remark that would set the entire situation in motion. At first, it seemed like just another lively debate, a hallmark of the show. Sunny and her co-host dove into the day's controversial topic, and as usual, Sunny didn't hold back. Her remarks were direct, sharp, and unapologetically honest. She addressed the issue at hand with a candidness that viewers had come to expect from her. But things quickly escalated. When the conversation shifted to a specific public figure, the tension in the room became palpable. Sunny, as she often did, didn't pull any punches, and her commentary became pointed and relentless. The room fell eerily silent. The usual hum of the control room ceased as everyone awaited the fallout. Some viewers cheered her boldness, applauding her for speaking out against what they perceived as wrongdoing. Others, particularly those with a vested interest in the subject of her critique, were far less pleased. The individual in question, known for defending their image at all costs, did not take kindly to public criticism, especially when it was delivered so unreservedly on live television. The immediate aftermath was a media frenzy. Social media exploded with reactions from both supporters and detractors. Fans hailed Sunny as a hero for speaking truth to power, while others accused her of overstepping, claiming she had crossed a line. The controversy gained momentum, reaching far beyond the realm of television and spilling into the wider public discourse. It was clear that the comments had touched a nerve, and no one could have predicted just how much further the situation would spiral as the lawsuit took shape. As the days passed, the fallout from Sunny's remarks intensified. While some rallied to her side, praising her for standing up for what they saw as justice, others began questioning the legitimacy of her claims, accusing her of making unfounded allegations. Behind the scenes, the mood on set shifted dramatically. The atmosphere that had once been vibrant and full of energy now felt heavy with tension and uncertainty. Even Sunny, who had always been known for her confidence and quick wit, began to show signs of stress. One moment, she was her usual self-jovial, sharp, and full of banter, but the next, she seemed distant, distracted, and uneasy. Her trademark sharpness was replaced by a visible anxiety. It wasn't just Sunny who felt the pressure. The other co-hosts, too, began exchanging nervous glances during segments, uncertain of how to navigate the growing discomfort in the air. The unspoken question was on everyone's mind. How far would this controversy go? What distinguished this incident from previous on-air dramas was the looming presence of legal threats. What had started as hushed whispers about a possible lawsuit began to take a more concrete form. Sources close to the production team revealed that the individual Sunny had criticized was, indeed, preparing to file a lawsuit. This wasn't expected to be a small claim or a routine legal battle. It was rumored to be a massive case, with The View and potentially even Sunny herself facing serious legal consequences. The rumored sum being demanded was enough to send shockwaves through the network. Though The View had weathered legal disputes in the past, this was something different. The figures being discussed were staggering, and even the experienced legal team at ABC was shaken by the sheer scale of what was at stake. No one had expected a lawsuit of this magnitude, and certainly no one had anticipated that the very existence of The View could be in jeopardy. Initially, Sunny seemed unruffled by the threat. She had dealt with legal challenges before, and was no stranger to the contentious world of broadcast television. After all, The View had made its name by delving into controversial topics, pushing boundaries, and assuming that its legal team would keep them out of trouble. But as the days wore on, Sunny's usual calm demeanor began to crack. The first tangible sign of the lawsuit's seriousness came in the form of an official letter from the plaintiff's legal team. This wasn't just a rumor or social media gossip, it was a formal communication addressed directly to ABC. The letter made specific allegations of defamatory remarks aired on The View, citing particular segments and transcripts. It demanded not only a public retraction, but also a significant financial settlement. Network insiders who glimpsed the letter reported that it was clear this wasn't a mere warning, it was a genuine legal threat with potentially devastating consequences. The fear of the lawsuit sent shockwaves through the production team. Emergency meetings were held, and ABC's legal department meticulously combed through every aired segment, scrutinizing each line for potential mistakes, missteps, or legal risks. Were there moments when the show had crossed the line? Had Sunny's passionate commentary on unverified allegations put them in a vulnerable position? While the show continued with its usual format on the surface, the underlying tension was impossible to ignore. The mood backstage was palpable, with even seasoned hosts like Joy Behar struggling to lighten the atmosphere with her trademark humor. Whoopi Goldberg, typically a steadying presence, appeared particularly reserved, avoiding any remarks that could be misinterpreted. It felt as though everyone on set was walking on eggshells, uncertain of how the next turn in the legal saga would unfold. The pressure mounted as the days went on. Sarah Haynes, ever the diplomat, adopted a cautious wait-and-see approach, offering polite but strained responses when the subject of Sunny's comments came up. It was clear to everyone that the weight of the situation was beginning to bear down on the show, and yet no one seemed to know how to move forward. Then, the inevitable happened. The lawsuit was officially filed. The court documents, filled with legal jargon and blunt allegations, claimed that The View and Sunny Hostin had caused irreparable harm to the plaintiff's reputation by making factual assertions without adequate evidence to support them. This wasn't a mere dispute, it was a full-fledged legal assault that demanded the network's immediate and undivided attention. Behind the scenes, The View's legal team scrambled to prepare a public response. The stakes were high, and any misstep could escalate the crisis into something far more uncontrollable. After much deliberation, the network issued a public statement acknowledging the lawsuit. The statement was measured, reaffirming the show's commitment to defending its right to discuss matters of public interest. However, the phrasing of matters of public interest carried a subtle but powerful implication. Could the original segment have gone too far? Had it crossed the line from opinion to something more dangerous, more damaging? Once the lawsuit became public, the atmosphere within the studio grew even more tense. Reporters and photographers descended on the set, eager for any new details or sensational tidbits to stoke the fire. Outside, journalists shouted questions at co-hosts as they hurried to the dressing rooms. Inside, The usual calm was replaced by a sense of urgency, and the network's corporate partners began to grow increasingly uneasy, concerned about the negative press surrounding the show. The once thriving dynamic of The View now seemed overshadowed by uncertainty and fear of what the future held. She had inadvertently triggered a sequence of events behind the scenes at The View, setting the stage for an escalating crisis. The atmosphere was charged with tension as producers and network executives scrambled, doing everything they could to prevent the show from crumbling entirely. ABC's legal department quickly proposed a solution, an on-air statement, delicately crafted by Sunny Hostin herself, aimed at expressing regret for any misunderstandings caused by her controversial remarks. The hope was that this statement might help diffuse the situation, easing the pressure and calming the storm of negative attention that had engulfed the show. However, every time the idea was presented to Sunny, she hesitated. Deep down, she felt she had done nothing wrong. She had simply spoken out in an effort to hold a powerful figure accountable, something The View had been known for in the past, especially when taking on controversial personalities. To her, the thought of retracting or softening her words seemed like a betrayal of the very principles the show had stood for. Yet, there was another part of her that acknowledged the reality of the moment. She knew that an apology, whether heartfelt or forced, might be the fastest way to douse the flames of controversy. The problem, however, was that an apology could be interpreted as an admission of fault, exactly what ABC's legal team feared, as it could bolster the plaintiff's case. As the days wore on, producers continued to work furiously behind the scenes, trying to salvage whatever they could of the show's credibility and reputation. They held private meetings with sponsors, attempting to reassure them that ABC was taking the lawsuit seriously and was committed to addressing the concerns at the heart of the issue. Yet, despite their best efforts, their attempts proved futile. The moment one major sponsor, a prominent automotive brand, pulled its backing, others quickly followed suit. The effect was swift and unforgiving, draining The View's financial support and leaving it teetering on the brink of collapse. Eventually, ABC took decisive action. The network issued an internal memo that announced The View would go on a temporary hiatus as they worked through the ongoing legal issues. While the memo was careful not to use language that suggested an imminent end, it was widely understood as the first step toward potentially winding down the show permanently. The once bustling studio hallways, filled with the hum of activity and laughter, grew eerily quiet as staff members began clearing out their desks and personal belongings. Some shared tearful goodbyes, uncertain of what the future would hold. Some clung to the hope that this was only a temporary setback, a brief pause, before the show would return. But the veterans of The View, those who had been there from the beginning, suspected that this hiatus was the beginning of the end. Within hours, the news broke. The View had been officially canceled due to the ongoing lawsuit. The headlines splashed across tabloids and online news sites, with commentators dissecting how a single lawsuit had managed to bring down one of daytime television's most iconic programs. Industry insiders pointed out that The View had been skating on thin ice for some time, courting controversy in the name of higher ratings. But this time, it seemed, the show had gone too far. Social media exploded in reaction. Some viewers mourned the loss of a platform that, despite its flaws, had provided a voice for women and sparked lively, often heated debates. Others, however, expressed relief, exhausted by the constant drama and sensationalism. Meanwhile, some fans were vocal in criticizing ABC for not standing by Sunny more firmly. They felt that The View had thrived on boldness and controversy, and when legal troubles arose, the network had abandoned that spirit. Sunny, however, became the center of intense speculation. Insiders revealed that she had not been on set the day ABC made its announcement. Some said she had spent the day locked in lengthy discussions with ABC's legal team, exploring whether there were any grounds for legal recourse, or if she might personally be held liable for the fallout caused by her remarks. Others suggested that Sunny had left the studio, possibly in tears, grappling with guilt over the consequences of her actions and the fact that her comments might have led to her colleagues losing their jobs. Paparazzi later confirmed that Sunny had been seen leaving the studio that day, her head down, purposefully avoiding the cameras. Her downcast expression only fueled rumors that she was overwhelmed by the enormity of the situation. It was a stark contrast to the confident, fearless persona she had built on television. ABC's public statement regarding the show's cancellation was brief and matter-of-fact, citing a combination of ongoing legal complexities and strategic programming decisions as the reasons for the cancellation. Although the statement refrained from directly blaming Sunny, the subtext was undeniable. The lawsuit and the surrounding controversy had played a significant role in the show's demise. Major media outlets quickly picked up the story, analyzing the situation from all angles. What went wrong with The View? Could the co-hosts have done more to protect themselves from the legal fallout? Most importantly, what did Sunny's downfall mean for talk shows that had built their brand on provocative opinions and bold claims? As the days passed, tabloids delved deeper into the more personal side of the drama. One piece painted a vivid picture of Sunny's final moments on set, describing her entering her dressing room, where she carefully removed personal photographs from the mirror and paused to survey the space, clearly shaken. A video, later confirmed as unverified but nonetheless viral, surfaced showing Sunny hugging a producer in the hallway, tears streaming down her face. The headline read, "Sunny Hostin's tearful goodbye," triggering a wave of responses on social media. Opinions were divided. Some criticized her for appearing to play the victim, accusing her of exaggerating her emotions for sympathy, while others empathized, pointing out how easy it was to cross an invisible line when working in the high-stakes, high-pressure environment of heated hot-topic discussions. The public remained captivated by the unfolding drama, and the debate over Sunny's role in the show's demise continued to simmer. Meanwhile, the lawsuit showed no signs of fading into the background. ABC's legal team was left to navigate depositions and negotiations, all aimed at minimizing the damage. The nature of the comments at the heart of the case remained confidential, but media outlets speculated that they involved sensitive personal allegations. Claims the plaintiff insisted had been presented as facts on the air. As the case continued to drag on, Sunny and her legal team braced for a protracted battle that could drag on for months, perhaps even years. Fans began to notice that Sunny had become conspicuously silent on social media. Though she occasionally posted about charitable endeavors or shared nostalgic throwback photos, there were no updates, no comments about the lawsuit or the end of The View. When journalists attempted to reach her for a statement, they were either met with silence or received only cryptic responses via a spokesperson. Speculation ran rampant. Some believed she was quietly preparing for a potential career comeback, possibly through a podcast or online platform. Others thought she was simply lying low, trying to avoid adding fuel to the fire and further complicating the legal situation. Whatever the reason for her silence, it was clear that Sunny had become the subject of intense scrutiny, and the public's curiosity about her next move was growing by the day. The other co-hosts, meanwhile, responded in varying ways. Joy Behar expressed regret about the show's demise, but refrained from assigning blame. Whoopi Goldberg offered a brief statement expressing her disappointment that The View had come to such an abrupt end, though she avoided commenting on the specifics of the legal troubles. Sarah Haynes, ever the quiet observer, retreated from the public eye, focusing on family matters and personal projects. While none of the co-hosts directly blamed Sunny for the collapse of The View, it was evident that the legal entanglements had taken a toll on each of their careers. What had once been a powerhouse in daytime television had now become a cautionary tale about the risks of pushing boundaries in the pursuit of ratings. And as the dust began to settle, it remained uncertain how Sunny would weather the storm and whether The View would ever return to its former prominence. New opportunities for Sunny came in, but they were slow and cautious. No production company was eager to take a risk on someone so closely tied to the spectacular downfall of a once iconic show. Meanwhile, industry circles were filled with discussions and reflection. For decades, The View had been the poster child for pushing boundaries in daytime television, diving headfirst into politics, offering sharp commentary on public figures, and rarely shying away from bold opinions. While this approach had earned the show a dedicated audience, it had also placed the hosts perilously close to legal peril. The question now loomed: had The View's demise set a dangerous precedent? Would future talk shows be forced to curtail their discussions to avoid navigating treacherous legal waters? Commentators across talk radio, social media, and cable news reveled in the unfolding drama. Some argued that The View's downfall was an inevitable result of a format built on controversy, They claimed that any talk show encouraging unfiltered commentary about powerful figures was always at risk of a lawsuit, especially in today's heightened climate. Others, however, felt that the case against The View was an anomaly, pointing out that the show had faced legal challenges before. This time, however, they had met a plaintiff determined to see the case through to the end. For loyal fans, the cancellation of The View felt like the end of an era. They recalled how the show began as a platform where women of various ages and backgrounds could discuss a broad spectrum of topics, from pop culture to politics. Over time, it evolved into a cultural juggernaut, but also a lightning rod for controversy. The show's abrupt end left a void in daytime programming while other similar programs existed. None could replicate the legacy and staying power of The View. As the legal drama continued to unfold, major publications began to reflect on the precarious nature of talk shows, especially those that straddled the line between commentary and fact. Legal experts weighed in on defamation standards, reminding the public that in order for a defamation lawsuit to succeed, a plaintiff had to prove that the statements were false, damaging, and made with a reckless disregard for the truth. Whether Sonny's remarks crossed that line remained to be seen, but the public was riveted as the case progressed. Ultimately, the cancellation of The View, prompted by the high-profile lawsuit, stood as one of the most dramatic events in modern television history. From the first whispers of legal threats to the moment ABC pulled the plug, the saga played out in a whirlwind of tension, negotiations, and speculation. It served as a stark reminder of the perils that arise when entertainment, opinion, and the law collide on a national stage. When the cameras finally went dark, it wasn't just the end of a beloved daytime show. It marked the abrupt end of an institution that had shaped cultural conversations for years. The staff moved on, the co-hosts parted ways, and an eerie silence descended upon the set. Only time would tell if Sunny Hostin or any of her former colleagues could recover from the aftershocks of The View's fall. The defamation case loomed as a stark reminder of how a single lawsuit, backed by powerful forces, could bring even the most established shows to their knees. The set of The View now sits dark and abandoned, its cancellation serving as a sobering milestone in media history. It illustrated the fragile balance between promoting unfiltered commentary and safeguarding against the legal risks that arise when public figures challenge each other in the spotlight. For those who once tuned in, the memory of that lively roundtable remains, but now it carries with it the knowledge that The View's final chapter came to a close far more suddenly than anyone anticipated. What was once an iconic force in daytime television has now become a cautionary tale, remembered for its boldness and for how easily even the most powerful can be undone when the law intervenes. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories like this. See you in the next one.